I felt powerless, like I was losing my daughter all over again. After our long court battle focused on freeing her from alienation, we were now losing her to addiction. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything's great. The key is pairing gratitude with acceptance, not denial.
Welcome to the Blended Family Breakthrough Podcast. We're your hosts, Mike and Kim.
We believe in a world where blended families can experience a future full of hope, connection, and peace.
That's why we offer tools, strategies, and guidance that move you from a place of confusion and conflict to experiencing a life of confidence and connection.
We're so glad you're joining us for authentic and sometimes comical conversations as we cover everything from romance to parenting, and yes, even dealing with that difficult ex.
So if you're ready to experience breakthrough in your blended family, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey there, it is so good to be with you again this week. For those of you here in the U.S., we want to commend you for taking the time to join us, even though it might be a busy week for you as you start to plan for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Now, while you're listening, would you be willing to leave us a 5-star rating over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts? And by the way, if you're a Spotify listener, we would love to hear from you in the comments of this episode. That's right. If you haven't discovered this yet, you can communicate directly with us via the comments on Spotify for every single episode. And we read them all and we do our best to respond as well. So make sure to leave a rating and leave a comment. For that, we would be very thankful.
Absolutely. Thanksgiving here in the U.S. is almost upon us. And the funny thing about a holiday centered on gratitude is that it can leave us feeling, kind of grumpy and ungrateful. In blended families, this day can spotlight conflict with an ex, last-minute schedule changes, kids missing from the dinner table, tension in step relationships, or disagreement as a couple around family traditions. Now, if you're not exactly excited for Thanksgiving because past holidays have been hard, you are not alone.
It's true.
We have been there as well. And here's the good news. Even when circumstances are messy and outside of your control, you can still choose where to put your focus. So today we'll help you shift from grumpy to grateful so that you and your blended family can experience more peace, connection, and celebration this week and all season long, right? Christmas is right around the corner too.
Yeah. Now, if that doesn't feel very motivating to you, and maybe you're wondering, why do I want to focus on gratitude right now? I've got so many things to do. We encourage you to really stick around because gratitude is actually a game changer. And today, we're going to give you some really practical ways to engage gratitude in your journey. And toward the end of our time, we're even going to share a bit about a very dark season that we've walked through for a long period of time and how we held on to gratitude even in the midst of the struggle.
Imperfectly as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So stick with us here. In their book, Relationship Essentials, Lauren Reitzema and her mom, Janine McKenzie, devote a whole chapter to what they call gratitude's superpower. They write, throughout life, every one of us will encounter negative and challenging circumstances. There is no perfect strategy for avoiding pain, but there is a strategy that we can employ to face it.
And then they add that studies demonstrate that feeling gratitude in the face of adversity and pain can make the difference in overcoming it.
Right.
In other words, gratitude doesn't deny hard things, but it helps us move through them.
That's right. Gratitude is quite simply an intentional connection with positive emotions and feelings, such as being hopeful, inspired, forgiving, and even excited. Gratitude refers to the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself. It's a general state of thankfulness and or appreciation.
That's right. And beyond mood, gratitude is associated with lower depression risk, better sleep, and favorable cardiovascular markers. New analysis even suggests links to longevity.
Yeah, longer life.
Now that we've identified why gratitude's superpower is so important, let's get practical about how to actually practice gratitude in our daily stressful and complicated lives.
That's right. When I slip into grumpiness, which I do sometimes,
Once in a while.
I tend to ruminate or rehearse what's wrong. Old hurts, unmet expectations, people not doing what I think they should do. And my grump fests, they always kind of lead to disappointment, drained energy, and definitely disconnection, which is actually the opposite of what I'm seeking most of the time, right? And the reality is step-family life is challenging. People won't always behave how we hope they'll behave, but we still get to choose our focus.
Yes.
Gratitude really is an equal opportunity emotion. Anyone can experience it, even when we're a stressed out parent or a step parent trying to survive the holidays. Research consistently links gratitude with greater contentment, patience, and connection. Don't we all need a little bit more of that as we kind of navigate the challenges that come with a blended family holiday?
Absolutely, we do.
Sure.
So let's aim our focus on 3 simple gratitude lenses that you can use this week and beyond.
That's right.
The first lens is, what are you grateful for? And this one is all about our tangible blessings. So start with the obvious gifts, right? A roof over your head, good food, clean water. As you tidy the house or prep a meal, notice the blessings hiding in plain sight. Because if you're not intentional, you'll miss them.
Yeah.
And that's when grumpiness and discontent can sneak in. Anytime I'm starting to feel discontent, especially around, our home or things that I wish were different, I always remember this story I heard years ago that I know is still very relevant today of people living in countries where malaria is still a threat.
Wow.
And they have to live with these mosquito nets in order to stay safe. And I just imagine being a mom, sleeping and hearing a little buzzing noise in my home and wondering if one of my children is going to be bit by a mosquito and contract malaria because those nets, sure, they help, but I'm just
They're not perfect.
I can't even imagine. But remembering that story that, wow, there are people in the world that are really suffering and have so little resources compared to what we have. And that helps to boost my gratitude, right? Remembering that I have it pretty darn good in the big scheme of things. Keeping a gratitude journal is one thing that has helped me so much. When I deliberately add and then reread entries, my mindset shifts and I experience more joy and less discontent. So I just want to share a few of my small but meaningful entries from my gratitude journal. A blue sky without clouds.
Ooh, we rarely see that in the Northwest.
Yes. A husband who puts up with me with understanding and grace.
Also imperfectly.
Still an entry in my journal. I was grateful for it.
Well, you're welcome.
Our sweet kitty, Maisie Jane, and her cute antics.
Of course, you'd have the cat in there.
An encouraging conversation with a friend and her heartfelt prayers. Treasures found at the beach, my happy place.
I bet that's in there more than once.
Oh, so many times. Now, these may sound simple, but they matter. Small things are significant and they can add up fast when you choose to look for them.
That's right. And anyone can choose to focus on tangible blessings, both the big ones and the small ones, like you just talked about there. The key is to see them and name them as things that you're grateful for.
Exactly. A few simple ways to make that happen. Pick one small action and add structure. For example, you might start a gratitude journal and commit to writing 1 or 2 specific things you're thankful for every day for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's great. Nice little process. Or you might consider creating a daily rhythm by pairing gratitude with something that you're already doing. That's a really great way to build a new habit. You can connect it to your morning coffee, which I know you're grateful for your morning coffee. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You could decide to engage in gratitude during your lunch break or at bedtime, like a certain time of the day that you're already doing something. And you know what? It's just a couple of minutes.
That's right.
It doesn't take very long. Another idea is to anchor gratitude to like mindful prayer or meditation at a set time with a set duration, right? Research shows that even short, structured gratitude practices over several weeks can boost well-being and help you maintain a more appreciative outlook.
Right. I love that. You're finding ways to grow gratitude superpower.
That's right.
Now, after listening to this episode, you might be highly motivated to start practicing gratitude. And motivation is what gets you started. But habit, you mentioned habit a minute ago, honey. Habit is what keeps you going.
Yep.
Adding structure as you focus on tangible blessings will help you to build some healthy habits. And there are amazing benefits to this kind of work.
That's right. So that was all about what we're grateful for. Let's look at the second gratitude lens. We call it grateful to. This one is about choosing to see and name and acknowledge the people who've really cared for you or supported you or maybe even invested in you. My grandma, she changed my life. Like after my mom passed away when I was 13 months old, Nana showed up with unwavering love. And so I'm so grateful for that. Like I'm a different man today because of the investment she made in me. I'm also grateful to friends who've stood by me through my fight with cancer many years ago, the company that made sure that I was financially secure throughout my treatment, the skilled doctors that cared for me, and even more recently to just leaders that I've been learning from through their books and different talks that helps me to pass on wisdom to you.
We're deeply grateful to Ron Deal. We led groups with his material for 15 years before we ever even shook his hand.
Yeah.
His work motivated us to lead our family with intention, and he's continued to invest in our development over the years. We're also grateful for our counselor. Her skill and care helped save our marriage about 15 years ago. And I'm so grateful to my amazing husband who won't settle for a mediocre marriage. That's an actual entry from my gratitude journal.
Oh, that's very kind. Honey. I know that drives you nuts sometimes, but I'm glad to know that you're also grateful for it. So here's the simple question. Who are you grateful to? The friend who brought a meal when you were sick? The neighbor who watched the kids? A mentor whose words encouraged you? Maybe it's someone inside your beautifully messy blended family, like in-laws who showed up to your child's party with a really sweet birthday gift for their step-grandchild. Or maybe your partner's patience with a last-minute schedule change to keep cooperation with your ex. Or your stepchild who came to you for help with something. That actually is a great sign, right? And even maybe they thanked you afterward. Ooh, hold on to that, right? Those are all different people that we can be grateful to.
And it's good to hold on to those memories, those times. I remember a story someone shared with us years ago, and she was in a painfully hard season. She was sitting on a bus, quietly crying. A stranger approached, offered her a tissue, looked her in the eyes with genuine compassion, and then simply walked away. Years later, she still felt deep gratitude that someone noticed her pain and responded with an act of care, even without knowing her.
So good.
That tiny human moment restored her hope and eased her pain. Now, this wasn't my story, but because it mattered so much to her and she told it to us, it's really stuck with me. And the truth is that gratitude is contagious.
That's right. So here's some practical ways to live from this grateful to lens. Maybe you'll write and deliver a gratitude letter. Just thank someone you haven't properly thanked lately. It helps them to feel seen and valued and loved. but it also strengthens your own gratitude muscles.
Absolutely. Socially expressed gratitude deepens relationships and it also buffers some stress. It's a resiliency tool in hard seasons.
Yeah. Here's another practical way to give this a try. Try an exercise called mental subtraction. Imagine one meaningful person that they never entered your life, and then list what are all the things you would have missed out on. That counterfactual exercise actually increases felt gratitude and clarity about the impact in your life. That's a powerful exercise right there. Yeah. Okay, so we have grateful for, grateful to. Let's tackle our third gratitude lens, which is grateful with. Now, sounds kind of weird, right? But this one is about choosing to focus on your contributions, your personal growth, and your progress. This lens helps you to notice your strengths and maybe your family's wins, however imperfect they are. So that way you don't stay stuck in feelings of shame or discouragement, things like that. Look, I've failed plenty as a husband and a father and a stepdad, but I've also had wins along the way. So we've got to figure out how to stop letting imperfection or past mistakes dictate how we show up as we move through the holiday season, right? We want to see, name, and acknowledge our good intentions, our growth, and our positive impact that we're making.
Yeah. You know, divorce was painful for me, and it was a loss for my daughter, Annika. Now, I could live in despair and guilt, or I can focus on growth. As a result of my divorce and our blend, Annika has been exposed to an imperfect but healthy marriage up close.
Yep.
She saw us struggle, seek help, make investment, and persevere. Through it all, she learned empathy, resilience, grace, healthy communication, forgiveness, and some conflict resolution skills just by watching us practice these things.
Yeah.
And she's had a loving stepdad investing in her well-being for nearly 25 years now. I mean, we have come a long way, and that's something to be grateful with.
That's right. So here's how to take a next step of this third lens of being grateful with. Track your contributions. Alongside your blessings, list some concrete ways that you've shown up well or grown, particularly in those hard moments. Maybe you responded calmly instead of reacting, or you repaired a fragile relationship. Maybe you upheld a healthy boundary in a loving way.
Yeah. Research shows that reflecting on your contributions and progress boosts confidence, agency, and motivation to keep going and growing.
That's right. Another strategy is to invite and receive trusted feedback. Ask your spouse or a friend or a coach, what growth have they seen in you? When we coach couples, we often point out real progress that they've made with managing tough interactions and issues. Unfortunately, some people choose not to acknowledge it, but you know what? The growth is there.
Yeah, and those who receive that feedback, well, they feel encouraged and grateful they're not where they used to be. Now, things may not be perfect, but they can see how much better they are. The best part, humility and celebration can coexist.
That's right.
So be grateful and celebrate how far you've come individually and as a family.
For sure. If you're wondering how we went from the verge of divorce 15 years ago to becoming marriage coaches, the answer is imperfect progress, right? And we're so grateful that we didn't give up.
Absolutely.
So let's quickly recap what we've covered so far. There are great benefits to developing the superpower of gratitude, which is simply noticing and appreciating what's meaningful. It's a thankful mindset that sparks hope, compassion, confidence, and joy. It's not just about our mood, but it's about choosing that attitude of gratitude. And this is linked to more positive health outcomes. So when holidays feel hard and grumpiness wants to creep in, we can still choose our focus. Gratitude is a choice that we all have, and it boosts contentment, acceptance, patience, and connection. And that's exactly what blended families need most.
Absolutely, especially around the holidays, right? We've also explored practical ways to build up our gratitude muscles through 3 lenses. What are you grateful for? Which is all about counting our tangible blessings.
The second gratitude lens is who are you grateful to? That's choosing to see, name, and acknowledge the people who've cared for you, supported you, and invested in you.
And last but not least is our grateful with lens. Focus on taking inventory of your contributions, personal growth, and progress along the way. We invite you to pick one of these 3 gratitude lenses and practice it today. You might be pleasantly surprised by the impact, how uplifting and empowering it feels when you're able to choose your focus and embrace gratitude's superpower.
That's right. Okay. We want to dive a little bit deeper because it's really hard to practice gratitude when you're sitting in real loss, grief, disappointment, or around a holiday table with some empty chairs. If you're thinking, are you kidding? I'm just too discouraged for this. We hear you and we get it.
Yes.
Blended family holidays can feel really overwhelming.
Yes, we've lived through long, painful seasons too. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything's great. The key is pairing gratitude with acceptance, not denial.
Yeah.
You can acknowledge grief and look for grace in the same breath. Here's a simple definition of grace: a quality that gives something special worth. Synonyms to grace are kindness, favor, blessing, and privilege.
That's right. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, and we aren't suggesting that you sweep problems under the rug. Gratitude is a coping skill that you use alongside feeling your feelings, setting boundaries, and getting help when you need it. It can increase joy and reduce anxiety and depression, but it's not a substitute for clinical care.
One simple way to acknowledge grief and look for grace is with a both and statement. It might sound something like this: I'm sad my kids are at their other home today, and I'm grateful we got to chat this morning on the phone.
Or my ex and I disagreed on the handoff time, which was really stressful, and I'm grateful the kids still got where they needed to be and had a good day.
There's tension at our dinner table because bonding has been slow. And I'm grateful we all laughed together at the movies last week.
That's right. Or maybe, dang it, our holiday plans got hijacked again, and I'm grateful that we made a new memory anyway.
Today didn't look like my perfect holiday, and I'm grateful for the real connections we did enjoy today.
That's right. The goal is to make space for your pain while also choosing to focus on what you have to be grateful for. Notice how the grateful, grace-filled statements are focused on a blessing, a kindness, a favor, or a privilege, not only the pain.
And here's the challenge. Practicing gratitude is hard when we're stuck in negative beliefs and stories in our head. Most of us naturally remember the negatives more than the positives. We spend too much time ruminating on hard moments, and we start expecting the negative to outweigh everything else that's good in our lives.
That's right. And when that happens, even real positives get filtered out. Negativity becomes the default, and that actually robs us of experiencing joy and genuine gratitude.
It also weakens resilience and our ability to problem solve. We've coached people who felt so certain the negative would always win that they were unwilling to try new strategies or believe that real change was even possible. They were stuck.
That's right. So let's embrace a new, more effective default by committing to tracking and trusting encouraging positive moments, no matter how small, by practicing gratitude daily. Over time, those small choices rebalance your focus and make both and possible. even in the midst of those really hard seasons.
Yeah. But you might be thinking, well, that all sounds nice, Mike and Kim. But in my situation, this feels like sugarcoating. We want you to know we hear you.
Yeah.
A both and statement is simple, but it isn't necessarily easy.
Yeah, that's right. Simple and easy don't always go together,
No.
right? But we can still choose simple, helpful steps even when they're hard.
And sometimes the season really is stormy and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we've talked on the show about our painful season of parental alienation when my daughter Annika was pressured and coerced to reject me and our family in order to gain approval and acceptance from her dad.
Yeah, and that was a long, gut-wrenching and disorienting season. We felt pretty powerless navigating this court system that seemed to be swayed by false narratives. And we'll link some past episodes in the show notes if you want to learn more about that story, and including how it almost broke us as a couple.
Yeah. But what we haven't shared as much on the show is the darker, longer season that followed that season after Annika broke free from the abuse and manipulation at her dad's home and came to live with us full time.
That's right. When that happened, our guardian ad litem, who advocated for Annika for 3 years while we were going through that, she warned us to expect a bit of a girls gone wild reaction. Like kids emerging from controlling environments often haven't had normal chances to make choices and then learn from their choices. And so development can actually stall, and that's what began happening to Annika. When freedom finally comes, they may not know how to handle it, and that leaves them vulnerable to peer pressure as well as risky, impulsive, and self-destructive behaviors.
Yes. It all started when Annika was 15. Someone offered her drugs. And despite years and many conversations about addiction dangers and risks, well, she was unable to consider the possible consequences, and she started using substances to escape deep pain and trauma of the past.
Yeah. Now, we responded pretty quickly to that.
Yeah.
We got some evaluations done. We set some boundaries in place. We had therapists for her and daily drug tests for years, right? And we followed through on some tough love consequences, along with having grace, patience. We tried to be encouraging, and we tried to affirm as well. We offered quite a bit of support and every possible pathway to lead her toward healthier choices.
But the fallout continued, and at 18, she moved out of our home. Often we didn't know where she was or if she was even safe. She skipped school, she lost jobs, and she spent time with unsafe peers.
Yep.
Her high school graduation came without her receiving a diploma.
Yeah. And this cycle lasted for years. There were some hopeful spikes. She actually came back around and completed some coursework to get that diploma. She did attend a few college classes, and she even did really well there for a while. She started exploring a career path. And then a setback would hit, and her escape cope of addiction intensified. Resilience was really thin for Annika, and her negative self-talk was super loud. When we would reach out to offer some sort of help or hand up, she often pushed us away and slid back into self-destructive patterns. We were heartbroken. We were disappointed. We felt defeated again and again and again.
Yeah. If you've ever loved someone trapped in addiction, you know this pain. And if you haven't, be grateful. I felt powerless, like I was losing my daughter all over again. After our long court battle focused on freeing her from alienation, we were now losing her to addiction. There were seasons when we rarely saw her, and when we did, we were flooded with a lot of mixed emotions. We were happy that she was still alive and with us, but devastated by her appearance and lack of any real engagement.
Yeah, you know, watching this was pretty brutal, and managing all the emotional ups and downs of not only us as a couple, but our two younger kids as well, who loved Annika and they were really missing her. But honey, I think you carried the heaviest weight of ongoing grief. Can you share a little bit about how that might have felt?
Yeah, there really aren't words to describe how that felt, but it was kind of like watching your beautiful, precious child skip through an active minefield. I was holding my breath as she stumbled towards all kinds of danger, and I was just bracing for each blast. It was like I was stuck outside the fence, shouting, "Move to safety, get out now!" But she couldn't hear me, or for whatever reason, she just would not hear me.
Yeah.
She kept returning to the minefield, experiencing loss after loss, and I couldn't rescue her. Her life was blowing apart, and I could only just watch it happen.
Yeah. This was such a long and painful season. Over nearly 15 years, there were so many ups and downs with Annika's addiction. Can you share a little bit about how you practiced gratitude, even in the midst of all this grief and negativity happening around us?
Well, I didn't always get this right, but by avoiding a few negativity traps, I was able to stay afloat for the most part.
Yeah.
So I want to frame those around resilience research, often referred to as the 3 Ps, which are personalization, pervasiveness, and permanence. These are traps, and they're things that we need to confront and challenge ourselves with when we're walking through a difficult season.
For sure.
Now, the first one is personalization. It's all my fault. Now, this is different from taking responsibility for what is our part. Personalization says everything bad is because of me. I often wanted to blame myself. I am the mom and I failed at my number one job to protect my child. But beating myself up really wasn't helpful.
Right.
And it really kept me stuck. So I had to counter with the truth and embrace gratitude. So here's a both and statement. I'm frustrated that Annika won't agree to go to treatment, and I'm grateful that we've consistently offered love, support, and healthy options for her.
That's really good, honey. We all need to learn that not everything that happens to us happens because of us.
Right.
Right. So, honey, you did your best to resist the urge to personalize or blame yourself by counteracting that with this truth that you're just talking about, right? You're a caring mom doing what's within your control.
Right.
Yeah. That's good battle actually against against this. And
it's tough.
It builds resilience and it builds some gratitude.
Yeah.
So that's personalization. Tell us about the second P.
The second P is pervasiveness. This ruins everything.
That's pervasiveness. Yeah.
Yeah, this belief says that one hard thing infects all of life.
Yeah. I remember that song from the Lego movie, right? Everything is awesome. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So pervasiveness, I guess what I'm hearing is it's kind of the complete opposite of that. We're singing to ourselves, everything is awful.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
And often it felt like there was no relief from grief and the powerlessness that I felt. It was all consuming sometimes.
Sure.
But practicing gratitude helped me to bounce back by continually looking for real, specific, good and positive things. My gratitude journal at that time became a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So I just want to share a few entries from this painful season directly out of my gratitude journal.
Okay.
Annika's sweet Mother's Day text and post on Facebook.
I'm sure that was good.
Yeah. Annika choosing to join our family trip to New York and showing up really well.
That's definitely something to be thankful for.
A step of growth for Annika, backing out of an impulsive decision.
Whew, that was a rare one, but it was there.
It was. Yeah,
good.
she got a pet that she really should not have gotten, and she ended up
Took it back. Yeah.
Yep, taking it back. Yeah. Annika's encouragement on the phone while I traveled to say goodbye to my dad. She was very encouraging and supporting.
Yeah.
Annika running through the Christmas tree farm to hug me and join in on our family tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's what I wrote a little over a year ago. I'm grateful for Annika's realization that things aren't working in her life and she's ready to check into treatment.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But with the exception of that last one, all of those other things were all happening during this 15-year journey of watching her run through that minefield.
Oh, yeah. There was so much grief and loss, but there were things to hold on to
That's
be grateful for, even though.
Yeah.
Now, those entries that I just talked about, and there were others, they naturally led to some powerful both and statements for me, such as, I'm anxious and worried because Annika doesn't keep in touch. And I'm grateful for her recent social media post, so I know she's okay. I'm disappointed that Annika didn't show up for a family birthday party. And I'm grateful she chose to go to New York with us and for the amazing time we all had together.
Yeah, that's great. Getting out of the weeds of your grief, I think really helped you to see some of those positive things and then acknowledge that our negative circumstances aren't completely pervasive.
Right.
Right. So you combated both of these P's in very specific ways, right? The personalization as well as the pervasiveness. So tell us a little bit about what the third P is all about.
The third P is permanence. It will always be like this. This glides quickly into hopelessness.
Yeah.
As a recovering addict myself, I know how hard recovery is. But I fought to hold on to hope for Annika.
Yeah.
Gratitude plus truth helped me remember that my feelings are real, but not forever. Annika's story isn't finished yet.
That's right. Yeah. It's so easy for us to project our current feelings out kind of indefinitely. And we experience a second wave of those negative feelings, right? We feel anxious, and then we feel anxious that we're anxious, right? And it's like, oh, this is never going to end. Or we feel sad, and then we feel sad that we're sad.
Right.
Instead, we really need to learn to accept our feelings and recognize that there's no feeling that's going to last forever.
Right.
Right. We should know this by now in our life, right?
Yeah.
But we struggle with it sometimes.
Yeah. Staying anchored in gratitude and truth, that's what kept me from collapsing into permanence.
Yeah.
Annika's struggle didn't mean her story was over. The truth is, people can and do change. I'm actually living proof of that with 25 years clean and sober myself after 18 years of battling addiction.
Absolutely. And we are thrilled to say that at the time of this recording, Annika has over 13 months clean and sober and is thriving right now in recovery. So
yes.
that is a huge blessing for us in this season of life.
We are incredibly grateful for
That's
that
right.
and proud of her. And you know what? Had I allowed myself to get stuck in personalization, pervasiveness, or permanence over those years, I would have been crushed under the weight of hopelessness and defeat and despair.
Yeah.
I would not have been the mom Annika needed me to be over the past 15 years. The mom who loved her unconditionally and set healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
The mostly strong and steadfast mom who never gave up on her, who prayed fervently for her, encouraged her, forgave her, and continued to believe in her. And at the core of it all was and is my choice to focus on gratitude. Gratitude was one of the primary practices that carried me through a very painful season where I had nothing else to hold on to.
Yeah. And you know what? That's gratitude's superpower. Practiced consistently, it fuels resilience and well-being. People who train their attention toward gratitude tend to be happier, healthier, and better equipped to weather life's storms. It turns out that counting your blessings can actually increase your blessings, right? Even when things are really hard. And if things are really hard in your blended family right now, and you feel like you're being crushed under the weight of hopelessness, defeat, or despair, We just want to encourage you to check out the show notes for some other episodes that offer encouragement and practical support to help you navigate through this difficult season.
That's right. We've been there and we didn't stay stuck. And you know what? You don't have to either. Please don't stay stuck. Mm-hmm. Now, before we sign off, I want to express how grateful I am for Annika, not only for embracing recovery, but for her courageous growth and for the amazing young woman that she has always been, even through all of the challenges that she's faced.
That's right.
We also want to thank her for giving us permission to share parts of her story here with you today, and we hope it brought real encouragement for whatever challenging season you might be walking through right now.
That's right. Annika, if you listen to this, we are really proud of you. Way to go. And you know what, listeners? We are deeply grateful for you too, as well as the couples that we get to serve in all kinds of capacities, whether it's through coaching or some of our speaking engagements,
our community.
Or any of that community.
Yes.
So grateful for you guys.
Yes, and I've got 2 last entries from my gratitude journal that I've just got to share. I'm grateful for our wonderful clients and listeners who continue to invest in their family and partner with us.
That's a great one.
Here's another one. I'm grateful for supportive feedback and podcast reviews. And one said, Mike and Kim are leaving a legacy for us to follow. I have hope and can finally sleep.
That's a good one. That's sweet.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're so grateful for that encouragement.
Yep. Your encouragement means more than you know to us. We are very thankful for you. And wherever you are in the world, whether you've already celebrated Thanksgiving up north in Canada or you don't have a Thanksgiving holiday at all, remember that this isn't about a day that comes around once a year. Choosing gratitude is about where you place your focus today and every day. So we want to encourage you to start practicing gratitude right now.
Absolutely.
Okay? And to give you a moment to do that, we're going to make this episode a wrap.
Until next time.